So the awards are done. We've given out all of our Rocket and Raygun Awards to all kinds of very deserving video games, and big congratulations to Titanfall 2. But one of the things that we like to do to kind of wrap up the ceremony is talk and reflect on the year that just passed us by and look forward to the year that's ahead. And we've got Ben Silverman here, Steve Tilley, and Jose Sanchez to join me. And we're going to talk a little bit, guys, about the biggest surprise, and biggest, I guess, because there's four of us, the biggest surprises of 2016. Ben, what was yours this year?
Well, mine, my biggest surprise came in a video game. We've spoken about it. And if I'm going to be honest, the thing that I did not see coming in 2016 is what happened towards the end of the video game Inside.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a game that I think no one really knew anything about. And then I started playing the game and I was like, yeah, this is a really good video game. This is a really, wow, that is a great decision. Whoa, that is a creepy little girl. Like, you start to kind of go, wow, this is really cool. And then it happens. And you're like,
what?
Not only just, yeah, you're like, what? And you're like, this is like moving at a level that I would never have gotten to as an artist. Like, I don't think my brain would have said, where are we going to take people when we're playing this? Let's do this.
You know, and
I think that is a surprising, and it's the kind of thing you only get out of really dedicated, confident artists. And I think that's what Playdead demonstrated. It was the most shocking thing I experienced in a game this year.
Awesome. Steve, what do you think when you think back on 2016? What surprised you the most?
Well, just as Ben has talked about something that we have talked about in our previous segments here, I'm also going to do that and kind of beat a dead horse here. But I think for me, the biggest surprise of the year remains the fact that Titanfall 2's campaign was so good.
Yeah.
The inventiveness of that campaign and even the characters were well done. I mean, there's still got your rookie pilot, thrust into circumstances beyond his control and his plucky robot sidekick. But even working with that, there was still so many moments that they didn't have to do that.
No.
They didn't have to make it so good, and yet they did make it so good. Unfortunately, as we've discussed previously, it got sandwiched between Call of Duty and Battlefield, and it just hasn't done well. So my biggest surprise of the year was sitting down to play Titanfall 2's campaign, thinking, okay, I'm just going to blast through this and get to the multiplayer, and then being so just swept up in it and just enjoying it so much.
Awesome. That's a great choice. Absolutely. Foobs, what about you, my friend?
Steve and Ben took my surprises. Those are my surprises. But I will have to say the biggest surprise of 2016 was the fact that the Chicago Cubs won the World Series. Who knew it was going to happen? Finally, 108 years later.
Well, I'll tell you what was the most shocking thing for me in 2016, how much I really, really, really like VR. I am a big fan of VR gaming. I like this experience. It's really, really fun. And all three of them are really good. They're all well designed, well manufactured. I think the PlayStation VR is the most comfortable. I think the Vive has the most sort of flexibility with its room scale. I think the Rift has a great library and a real sort of commitment to creating cool VR experiences. They all justify their prices already, and some of these games are some of the best gaming experiences I've had in 2016. I've been really, really blown away.
I would throw in one more, which is Pokémon Go.
Yeah.
And for me, the surprising thing about that wasn't just that it was successful. It was that I was convinced that game was going to just be an egg. Now, to be fair, ultimately, maybe I'll be right. Like, in the long term, that game fell off that top chart pretty quickly. But what happened in those, that glorious month of August or whenever it happened, I don't think anybody could have seen that coming. I mean, this was Pokemon, which has been around for 20 years, nonstop. Suddenly, news people on Channel 4 are talking about Pokemon like it's back. But it's like, it never went anywhere. But that's how big this phenomenon was, is that it made it seem like this was the return of something. That was shocking to me. Shocking to me.
I was writing news stories about Pokemon for my newspapers. And I can't remember the last time that the news editors wanted a video game story up front. It was just such a phenomenon.
Awesome.
The thing I mean, it's like when a game like that is downloaded by everyone, where else it can't go anywhere higher on the charts when every single person had it.
Absolutely. So I think we all have to consider that one of the biggest surprises of the year. Who fucking knew that was going to happen?
Let's talk about our biggest disappointments for 2016. Steve Tilley, you're on my screen. What was your biggest disappointment this year?
The Last Guardian. I still love the game. I still loved my time with the game. I mean, we've already talked about this, but a game 9 years in development that has controls from 9 years ago is just not going to work. And I'm not a game developer. I don't know how easy or hard it is to code good fluid camera controls or to code good fluid character controls, but there was a struggle against some of the mechanics and just an overall lack of, I don't know, like there's pieces of immense beauty and immense creativity in that game, separated by these long stretches where you're just waiting for Trico to jump from one pillar to another. It's like the world's slowest platformer. Like, okay, buddy, you ready? Yeah, I can see you winding up.
Bad dog.
Oh,
Bad dog.
there you go.
Bad dog.
What was your biggest disappointment, Ben?
I have two disappointments that are real. Another is a different Sony exclusive, which we definitely need to talk about, in No Man's Sky. I really believed in it, and when the game came out, I'm going to be honest, I think what happened to that game in terms of lawsuits and people getting infuriated by what they thought they were going to get and what they actually got, I thought all that's horseshit.
Yeah.
I got a game that was incredibly ambitious, that wasn't able to quite live up to that ambition. But I also got a game that was very true to its indie spirit. And this was an indie game that got over-promoted by Sony, oversold by Sony as being bigger than what it was actually going to be. I think that's the sadness and the disappointment, is that this was treated as a finished $60 epic, whereas what it should have been treated as was a $20 smaller experiment that would, I mean, now, you can play it now. I downloaded the new base building stuff, and it's totally new mechanics and a totally new way of approaching this universe. There's a lot of incredible work in that game, but you can't look at it as anything other than disappointment considering what we had hoped it was going to be at launch. To move on just to my second disappointment, a game that you and I also reviewed, Quantum Break. This is a game that...
Fuck, will you stop giving it your biggest disappointment?
Yeah, I told you I had two. Sorry, Jose. You gotta have more. You're disappointed by other things. But Quantum Break was a game that was supposed to launch, really, their new console.
Yeah.
And it was a game that was supposed to do a television show and an action game, and it's Remedy, and they had come off Alan Wake, which I thought was such a great project. And I think they shit the bed. I was kind in my review. I tried going back to it again.
That's such a forgettable game. Yeah. Jose, you must have another disappointment in there. Come on.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it more.
I had No Man's Sky. I had Quantum Break.
What about Mighty Number 9 or Recore or anything like that?
Star Fox.
I was Star Fox. God damn it, Ben! Shut the fuck up! I'm trying to get it out.
I know you better than you know yourself, Jose.
Okay, Star Fox. We're disappointed. Hated. Nintendo just overall with everybody was hearkening for new Star Fox. Give us new Star Fox. That's all we want is new Star Fox. Like, here's a couple new Star Foxes in one thing. Just go have at it. And it's like, well, that's it. I mean, Nintendo, you are the only ones making games for your systems right now.
Yeah.
You need to knock it out of the park.
My disappointment's a little more esoteric than that. It's the price point is $79.99, which got thrown back in my face a ton on Twitter and Facebook messages. It's $79.99 a game now. That's the price of a game in Canada. And I think it's crazy. I think it's
like $13 here in America.
Well, I think it's nuts that so much of the conversation around video games is about how much they cost and is it worth the dollars to spend and what's the equation on time, and so much about what we talk about video games is about money and what the thing costs, what it costs the developer to make, how much did it earn in that first week, is that studio going to stay in business? And I feel like the business really, it's disappointing that that's still happening. We need to kind of evolve as an industry to kind of just embrace that this is an entertainment product, figure out a price point that gets more people in the door instead of shuts people out. Because that's what $79.99 does. That gives people a lot of reasons to say, well, I can't afford that. That's a total extravagance. That's nothing that I'm going to make time and budget for in my life to get into video games. That's nuts. So that is my biggest disappointment. I know that that's a tough one to solve in 2017.
How you do that, Victor?
How?
You get yourself a tiny Nintendo, my friend. You got 30 games in there for the price of one.
Honestly,
If you
that's
can
another one of
find
my
it.
disappointments in 2016 is how stupid it is to find one of those, how stupidly difficult it is to be able to find one of those and the controller, which is crazy. All right, well, let's switch over to something a little bit more positive. 2017 is imminent. Let's talk about the game that we are most excited for. Everybody gets one game. Jose got all of his stuff robbed from him in the last little bit there. What's the one game you're looking forward to the most in 2017, Foobs?
Oh man, there are so many games. I could just list them all off right now, Vic. But I pretty much I can assume what a lot of the people are going to be anticipating for 2017. Again, there are lots of games I'm looking forward to. One is goes to a series that I cannot wait to dive back into because it's been a while since I have played a Mass Effect game.
Oh, dude!
Sucks to be you, Steve.
Damn it.
Taking the Edmonton roots right out of you, my friend.
Damn it, you can't. Then you mention my own town instead of me.
I'm on fire.
Kill you.
No, but that game looks just so unbelievable, and I can't wait to jump back into some new Mass Effect and play some Andromeda in 2017.
Great choice. We're all eagerly anticipating that. Steve Tilley, what are you waiting for, except for Mass Effect Andromeda?
Well, fucker Fubar took my pick. I was going to say, 780 represent my boys at Edmonton and BioWare making Mass Effect Andromeda, which I am super excited for. So I'm actually going to take the one I thought Foobs might take off the top. It's not so much it is a specific game, but I'm looking forward to the first big VR game, like a VR game that's not feels like more than just a tech demo or a short experience. I want a big, meaty, full-fledged VR game. If Fallout 4 VR comes out in 2017, which I think we're hoping it is,
yeah,
right, Oops? Yeah, that'll be amazing. I mean, Jose and I played a bit of it at E3 with the Vive, and it just inhabiting the world of Fallout 4 is so different from watching it on your two-dimensional screen. It just, I can't wait to re-explore that world in VR after I'm done playing Mass Effect Andromeda.
Ben, what are you most excited for?
Well, I'm going to leave probably the biggest game of 2017 to you, Victor Lucas, because I know you're dying to talk about it. So I'm going to go with, I have this, maybe it's I'm going to go ahead and call it a flaw, where I get like really connected to certain games at certain times. Usually after an E3, I'll be like, that's my next one. For me, that next game is God of War. I don't know if it's coming out in 2017, maybe it's 2018, but the next game coming out that I don't know much about it. And what I know about it, I love. Kratos is a father, you're helping this kid, and it's
The Son of War.
Yes, Son of War, and you've got this new camera, and I don't understand that you got an axe you can zip back like Thor. It's got all this weird new shit in it that I don't understand. I can't quantify it in my head. I just can't. And that makes it anticipated for me.
All right. Well, Breath of the Wild is definitely up there for me. I can't wait to jump into Zelda.
There's another one.
Yeah.
There's another one.
It is, and I'm shocked none of you guys brought that up. I thought for sure one of you would. But the game that I am...
We were leaving it for you. We were leaving it.
Oh, well, that's very kind. No, that is a game that, I think the whole world is waiting on. And I think... there will be a lot of angry Switch owners if it isn't a launch title with the machine. But the game I'm more excited for than that or any other is Red Dead Redemption 2. That is, Rockstar is, like Nintendo in a lot of ways, their own industry. They are apart from everything else. And they just seem to learn from every iteration, and every time they deliver a game, they seem to evolve into this more important manifestation of this core idea that they had. And this is a company that has always really understood how to create mature storytelling and open world variety. I am so stoked for Red Dead Redemption 2. Guys, I can't wait till the four of us are all together again like this, and maybe in person would be even better. But I love talking with you guys. Group hug around our monitors.
Hug my laptop.
Yeah,
Hugging my laptop.
group hug. You guys are
Give a
awesome.
kiss.
Thank you very much for doing this. Thank you. Big kisses, big smooches. And thank you all for watching. We know we just delivered you a tremendous amount of material to peruse through and enjoy. Let us know what you think in the comments below. But that's a wrap for our Rocket and Raygun Awards for 2016. Have yourselves a fantastic holiday, and we'll see you right here at EP in 2017.